What's up, tubers? Welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna answer a question that another YouTuber posted, Paul over at Left Coast Model Car Builds, and we're gonna talk a little bit about another group build that I'm in. Another meaning that I'm gonna probably join his as well. So the other day I'm surfing the interwebs and I come across this video that Paul had posted about a group build clarification. I'm like, okay, well, that's the first time I'm hearing about it. So I watched the video and learned that he's hosting a build. Kind of a, what I would call in my world, a redo or you get to do it again, a do-over. You get to take a model that you built and maybe do it better. And the idea, the premise is to push yourself on your builds and make a clean one. That's kind of what he's after here, is to take a car and, one that maybe you've done before and do it again and do it better, to push yourself. So something I learned from another modeler really early on when I was trying to do stuff and getting a little frustrated, he'd suggested to try to push myself on each build just a little bit out of the comfort zone, just a tiniest bit. Like when you're first starting out, you get nervous about doing this or that or things that don't work out right, and you get mired into trying to fix it and make it right. Move on. Accept what you did. It worked, it didn't work, and move on. Take that knowledge and apply it to the next one. And at the same time, continuing to push yourself a little bit further outside your comfort zone. Make the cut, chop the roof, do the hole in the hood, make the fender flares, etc. Do something that you haven't done, try it, maybe do it right, maybe do it wrong, whatever. Finish the kit, even if it looks like complete garbage, you finish it and apply that knowledge to the next one. And that really resonated with me from being an editor. I was caught something very similar to don't get mired into the project and trying to make it perfect. Just learn from what you're doing and move on. Eventually, those skills will start to stack on you. So, like I said, I joined a group build. Leon over at the model car 1589, I think his name is. It just rolls right off the tongue, almost like doing stuff with things. How many of us would like to have renamed our channels? Anyways, he's hosting a lowrider group build, and I joined in. I'm like, okay, sure, I just got this money. I'll do it. Why not? And then I saw this video by Paul. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to cross-pollinate. Pollinate. See what I did there? I'm going to take the lowrider that I'm building for this group build, and I'm going to also use it for this group build. The reason being, I know I'm going to push myself outside of my comfort zone on this build. I already know I'm going to have to chop the trunk open. I'm going to do some other mods and stuff that I've done in the past. Brief history of my modeling skills. I started this about 5 years ago. Somebody gifted me a model, and I started building it. I mean, there was, I have a little bit of experience from years and years ago. I tried to build what is now the USA 1 kit. I tried to make that myself. And another Impala, I tried to do the three-wheel motion. This was way back before Snoop Dogg was even a puppy. Yeah, I'm old. And, that was it. I hadn't done anything for, I don't know, how long is that? 30 years, maybe more? Jeez. Anyways, somebody had gifted me not too long ago, about 5 years ago, this model. I was in a Jeep group, and somebody shared the video by the other YouTuber that made one. I'm like, ooh, I want one. So somebody got one for me, and I built it, and I had to make it dirty. I had no idea about weathering or anything, and so I used coffee grounds and a little bit of pipe dope of glue to stick it to the vehicle. I mean, it worked. It looks all right. And so I wanted more. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do another one. Went back to Hobby Lobby and got the what is it, the Joker? No, it's the CHP car, the California CHP Monaco, and wanted to make a Blues Brothers car. I mean, it came out okay. I mean, a lot of these builds that I did in the beginning were just horrid. I look at them now, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'd finished that one and went back to Hobby Lobby to do a kit bash. I bought 4 kits. I bought the Duster, the Lincoln, the Desert, whatever that NBC pile of garbage is, and then another one of the Jeeps, with the idea that I wanted to do some crazy lifted stuff. Did they come out great? Maybe not. Did I learn a lot? Absolutely. Absolutely. Once I finish them and they hit the shelf, I kind of don't really care anymore. It's about the process for me. And in that process, I've learned quite a bit. Look at this glue and the horrible fitment and everything. I'm like, ugh. But you know what, whatever. It sits on the shelf and I look at it and go, oh yeah, I remember how I learned about how this and how that and blah, blah, blah. To where, I'm at the point now where I just did this one for a show and I flocked the headliner. I'm pretty proud of that. It came out really good. And like I said, I'd never done that before. I figured, well, I'm just going to try it. And it came out good. So even if it didn't come out good, I'm going to keep trying. Kind of like this one where I did a modification on a Jeep and made it even bigger. I'm not going to show you the actual suspension because it's horrible. If you turn it over and look at the underside, you think, oh my gosh, what did some kid glue crayons together? Whatever, I learned a lot. Learned enough on the next one to make it even better. And to push myself constantly. On this one, I decided I'm going to tub the rear end. Never done it before, so I started chopping plastic, and you can see the flocking really didn't stick down very well. But you know what? Does it look cool on the shelf? Absolutely. So, I just kept doing that kind of stuff with I'll take a kit and do my own thing, do my own flavor. And eventually stuff starts to look better, and experimenting with colors and things that you'll never see this. It's the bottom side of the model. It sits on the shelf. I never even see it. But I know that when I made it, I paid attention to the bluing on the headers and the different suspension parts were colored differently. And then under the hood, I did the braided lines for the radiator and ran the spark plug wires and tried to route them so that they looked maybe in the right firing order. Put in a fuel filter and battery cables, and eventually you start getting models that kind of start to look like this. You're like, whoa, wait a second. Wow, when did that happen? Just little by little, pushing myself outside of the comfort zone. Every build, even if it's just one little thing like this, you're never going to see that. It sits on the shelf, and you never see any of that detail that I put in there. But I know it's there. I had the experience of doing it. And does it look cool sitting on the shelf? Absolutely. And this is another one where I experimented with paint. I was doing some fades, with different colors, with the orange and the red and the translucent yellow. It came out great. I was really impressed, to the point where, I'm impressing myself and making these builds that start getting stuff like this that looks really good. Hey, the hood opens and closes, and I did a whole custom thing with this and put, 3D printed ITBs on it, and you can see the MSD coils and Optimas, and, you start dressing them up. You start getting builds that look like that, as opposed to that. Just, again, push yourself just a little tiny bit on each and every build, and eventually it'll start to stack up. You start to get better. So, like I said, this rebuild that I'm in, Leon's at Model Cars 1589. I'm putting in the 70 Monte Carlo because I've got some ideas for it. Definitely have some ideas for it. Where I started, where I'm going, I don't know. It's all about the process for me. I just enjoy the painting and the prep, and a lot of that is from life skills. I was a professional house painter for a long time. I worked in a print shop as a press operator. Started doing bindery, where you have to mix all the inks equally, and a lot of menial, mindless labor, doing things over and over and over again, which it's the same in modeling. You have to do this how many times over and over and over again before it finally becomes second nature. You're like, okay, I'm just filing the thing, and now I'm painting the thing, and here's another thing, and it just eventually it'll start to stack. yeah, I mean, I hope that helps, Paul. I hope that maybe that gives you a little bit of insight to my backstory and history and why I do some of the stuff that I do here on this channel. Some of the crazy builds that I make. I do it for me. I do it because this is a vision that I had. I'm like, you know what? I want to make a lifted El Camino 4-wheel drive with a built blower in it. Or I want to build a Jeep similar to a Jeep that I actually used to have. I'm going to do stuff that I have never done before and try it, see if it comes out good. A lot of times you're rewarded and it does come out good. They don't all have to be, model award-winning models or shelf queens. Again, this one, I still look at it and go, that's pretty neat. I remember I tried to make it different, like a junkyard parts and stuff. And so that's about it. I am definitely rambling. I've been rambling for about 12 minutes here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Head over to Left Coast Model Car Builds and jump in his group build if you like, or even over to Leon's, the Lowrider group build. The reason I'm cross-pollinating there, I'll give you a little bit of an explanation. Again, I know I'm going to go above and beyond on this one and do some stuff that most people look at and go, ooh, wow, why do you do that? So, whatever. I'm going to tag them with both of these annoying hashtags that don't work. Wham, wham, wham. And that's about it. Thanks for watching.